I'm back. I don't think I finished telling y'all how I blocked her, entire family too. But I wish them the best, and I'm going to pray for them too because, I'm going to pray for her too. But you're not going to be up under me. Mm-mm. Because, at first, it seems like it's only affecting her, but that's not true. It affects the people around you. And they can pretend like it doesn't, and they don't care anyway. She don't care, honey. That's the thing. She don't care. But she wants to go to work, and I understand that. That's what you're here to do. Get back on your feet. Reestablish your stability for yourself. But you should see her after she come off of those binges, honey. She be itching and scratching and moving and clicking. Like, I said, I've already had my crackhead experience, I'm not ride or dying for you. I'm not. So I gave myself some grace. But anyway, the shadow side, living in a shelter with 200 and something other women who, majority of them have mental health issues or addictions, or demons, or they, indulged in, very satanic and demonic lifestyles. So, this is how I've been exercising my shadow side, So one night I was in the lounge and, I was in the dark because I wasn't supposed to be in there. But there was another young girl in there, and she was like on the phone crying, talking to her boyfriend, telling him how much she loved him and miss him. And you know what? He wanted to get off the phone. And I was just, I shouldn't have been listening to that conversation, but, there was nothing I could do. I was going to hear it, And, the way he was talking, he wanted to get off the phone. I was like, I said, honey, he already got a new woman. He already has a new woman. You live in a shelter and he's home? And he's your what? Honey, she was crying and all balled up and going through all her emotions and stuff, and he could care less. I could tell by his tone he wanted to get off the phone. And I know it's not funny, but fast forward, fast forward, the same girl, me and her coming in the building one night. And I came in first and she came in after me. So, I quickly stepped aside just to quickly snatch off my jacket and stuff and put it through the metal detector. And she jumped in front of me. It's like, okay. And then she went through. So I came through too. And the elevator came. And as she was getting on the elevator, I whispered to her, I said, how's your boyfriend's new girlfriend? And she spun around in that elevator. After the door closed, she said, are you a spiritual talker? I said, no, I'm a spiritual knower. And then it got to our floor. Turns out she lived on my floor, just way down in another dorm. And she was like, what else do you know about me? I don't know anything else about you, even though I do, but that was me being in my shadow. And now every time she sees me, what? She gets out of my way. But that was a little dirty. But I enjoy doing it. That's the thing, you know, I enjoy doing it. Like, I haven't been the person to, like, purposefully be mean. Like, if you piss me off, yeah. But I don't live in it, you know? I don't live in it. Oh, this is a good one. So, I want to say, like, what's the day? Tuesday? I want to say just last week. Again, I was sitting in the lounge, minding my business, you know, enjoying my videos and, you know, taking notes. So it was this white girl in there, and she was listening to this music, and it was saying, you know, it was a lot of niggers in it. A nigger, you know. And I was wondering why she didn't have on headphones, but, you know, that's what these white girls do when they get in these shelters. They want privilege in here, too. So, so the song was saying all of that. And in the final verse, the final line, she went on and said, nigger with it. Now, let's go back a little bit. About a month ago, my ancestors visited me. Like, they looked like lit candles and robes. Like, their faces were like a lit candle, you know, covered in a robe, you know, and they surrounded my bed. And they came to pay homage to me because, you know, I've chosen this path of God, you know. And I just like, thank you. You know, it wasn't there for protection purpose, but it was like they made a pilgrimage to see me. And I appreciated that. So that happened like maybe 3 weeks ago. And this incident happened like maybe a week ago. So I'm sitting in the lounge, the song, she says the N-word with it. And I said, oh, now I understand why my ancestors visited me. I said, am I going to let this rock? Nah. So she turns to me and she says, I can say that word because it's in a song. I say, you don't own that word. You know nothing about its experience, or something like that. I say, you and yours don't own that word, you know? And I said, I don't care if you hear it in a song again. I don't care if you read it somewhere. I don't care. I said, if you say that word again while I'm sitting here, I'm going to punch you in your head. She got quiet. I said, and after I punch you in your head, I'm going to wake up the whole floor and tell them what you did. Honey, the fact that she had conscious awareness of the fact that I might not be pleased about the fact that she's, you know, singing along to that, trying to get away with something, you know? They're always trying to get away with something, like, ugh. Honey, she packed her shit and left. I ain't seen that girl since. Don't play with me. Don't play with me and don't play with me and my ancestors, girl. Don't do it. And there are others that do that too. And one got punched in her face. She don't do it no more. But that was also me exercising my shadow side too. You gotta, it has to be done sometimes because people always check in to see where your boundaries are, you know? Always. They have shadow sides too. But I think in another lifetime, I enjoy this because after I do it, I be laughing just like this. Laughing just like this. What? You know? And I'm not saying people fear me, but they're very careful with me, you know? Very careful. Very. And, you know, I've made a lot of acquaintances. I have more shelter sisters, you know? But some of them are a mess. A mess. But anyways, when else have I exercised my shadow side in here? Like, I might be in trouble tonight. But only for the right reasons. You know, it's not like, again, it's not like I'm living in it, you know? But he's like, you know, you have to remember what it feels like to carry your swords. But I've been enjoying it.